like you. Listeners like you. Our revenge is made possible by listeners like you. By listeners like you. Our revenge is made possible by listeners like you. By listeners like you. Our revenge is made possible by listeners like you.
Hey folks, welcome to this live stream. My name's HappyCattyCrypto. My real name's Jay, and I'm just here to best support this community and better move us forward as much as I can, and just try to stay as truthful, transparent as possible. And you guys know I'm never ever going to sell out. So I just wanted to pretty much go live. I just grabbed a coffee from my local coffee shop because I can walk places a lot easier now. Don't need a walking stick, don't need a wheelchair. Woohoo! No more litter pickers for me when I get dressed, put it that way. Yes, I did snap it up. Yes, I did throw it in the bin. And let's get on with it. So as you folks know, there is a proposal up to lower the tax rate from 0.2% to 0.2% and set aside 10% of the tax revenue to finance the ecosystem infrastructure and contributors. Instead of going through that, we're going to go through the Agora text instead. So sorry about the slurping. Slap some penguins down in the comment section if you can hear me, guys. I know there's not many of you here, but I just wanted to go live. I just wanted to speak about this, speak about Exodus and a few other things, because this proposal in itself is a parameter change, meaning if it gets voted yes, then it's definitely going to go through, and the change is definitely going to happen, and it's going to get lowered. So I think we all need to pay very close attention to what we're voting on and the implications of voting yes or no, so to speak. So the proposer, Akjura, owns staked LUNC. The author, Duncan, does not own LUNC or USTC, but manages an account for a firm primarily staked in Luna Classic and Luna Classic liquid staking derivatives. So at least they're honest. So the author works with the proposer to develop a cohesive rhetoric for governance of voting. There may be nuances involved in their individual opinions before voting. Please read the proposal carefully. So let me just get past all of that. So results of voting. Yes equals lower, but does not remove the tax and use some of the revenue to finance necessary blockchain infrastructure and the teams maintaining the blockchain. No equals makes no changes to the tax percentage and do not set aside any tax revenue for the teams maintaining the blockchain or finance infrastructure necessary to upkeep the blockchain through tax revenue. No with a veto, as you guys know, that will just basically make no changes and it won't give them their deposit back. So do think about that as well. And only one validator has voted so far, so a lot of other validators are going to have to vote on this. I think if it gets whitelisted, they're definitely going to have an issue, so to speak. But let's move forward with it. Yeah, I know, right? Only 30 people in here. Honestly, as time goes on, I've noticed that we do get drowned out by all the other influencers because, you know, they've got all these sort of captivating titles and all these kind of interesting promises about $1 and stuff like that. But honestly, I'm not here for likes. I'm not here for views. I'm just to help educate people and stuff like that. But, you know, there may come a day when HCC serves its purpose, so to speak. But time will show, time will tell in the future what our path is, so to speak. So the proposal itself aims to signal CEXs and other on-chain users that we would like to keep the tax while using its revenue efficiently by funding the costs associated with development, the LCD endpoint, and costs related to contributions for past and present contributors, either individuals or organizations like Terra Rebels. The burn tax proposed in Proposition 3568 and implemented and distributed in Proposition 4159 was implemented on the 21st of the 9th, 2022. Since then, on-chain transactions volume for Luna Classic has decreased by 91.67%, a difference of 3.45% since measurements taken after 7 days for the initial signal proposal. The chain has totaled 367.06 billion units over a period of 18 days, averaging at 20.39 billion units of LUNC in daily volume. In LUNC only, prior to the tax, on-chain transaction volume totaled at 2,349.06 billion units of Luna Classic over a period of 12 days, averaging at 195.76 billion units of Luna Classic daily. With the current implementation, stakers and spot holding Luna Classic investors do not pay taxes and therefore do not incur any burns except of their own volition by sending money to the burn wallet. On the other hand, trading and sending assets over to the chain incur burns. If the native assets are sent to CEXs, they are only taxed on send and withdraw. Each CEX pays a discretionary burn tax in this regard and differs between CEXs. Additionally, CEXs pay more taxes than on-chain users or voluntary burners. Of the estimated 14.85 billion Luna Classic units burned, CEXs account for 6.87 billion units, 46.22% of all burns. And they've got, I think, a lot of data from LUNC Penguins itself. I don't know why that keeps coming up. Go away. It is estimated that the burn tax will take anywhere between 20 and 60 years to create a 10 billion fixed units of LUNC supply. An estimate currently impossible using current numbers due to 676.90 billion units of LUNC bonded to the network earning yield. So there is many reasons for this, and you know, it's to do with validators, it's to do with tax revenue, and it's to do with all sorts of stuff, you know, across the board. And what I need you folks to do is pretty much ensure that you are reading all the way through these before you vote, because there might be something at the top you agree with, and then further down there might not be something you agree with. So I think it's always vital that you guys actually, you know, consume these proposals correctly. But to put it in the most plainest of Jane terms, it's a proposal that is one that will 100% go into effect if it's voted through as yes, okay? And it's going to lower the tax rate to 0.2% and set aside 10% of the tax revenue to finance the ecosystem, infrastructure and contributors. Now, before we go any further with this, if you've watched my videos today so far, you will know that I've spoken about Proposition 4080. And I think this is a very vital proposition, because it seems to me like we have decided through a parameter change proposal already that 10% of those 50% transaction fees that are distributed to the community pool, 10% of those are to go to the ecosystem devs, okay? And then 5% is retained for the core Terra Classic development. So therefore, there is something actually in place already for, you know, helping the ecosystem itself and helping the devs. And I think this needs to be utilized. In my opinion, I'm surprised it hasn't been utilized already, but I guess the team are so busy all the time, which makes total sense because they are just busy all the time. So do understand that there is, you know, things in place that kind of haven't been followed through. And it was kind of like this burn tax, which, you know, praise be that never ever went through, because, you know, a burn tax on our community pool is just silly. And the whole reason we have a community pool is to pay our devs and fund the blockchain, so to speak, pay for security audits and stuff like that. So let me know in the comment section what you're sipping on, folks. Oh, it's so quiet compared to the early days of when I started. Honestly, I feel like the more subscribers you get, the less people that you reach or something. I don't know, maybe it's just me. But yeah, so good to see all these different influencers actually getting involved now. And you know, I've been speaking to a few different ones, and they've like asked me, you know, oh, how come you started, you know, influencing? Why did you start doing what you was doing? It's like, I started doing this because you guys weren't covering it. So let's go down to the core reasoning. So we're not burning nearly enough LUNC at the current tax rate to justify the cost of its implementation from a high level standpoint. CEX is creating nearly half of the burn, suggests that traders create nearly half the volume. Additionally, Terra Rebels and similar contributors do not receive compensatory payment for any work they do or have done, including the actual implementation of the tax. Most of this work has been done for free outside of a regular job. At a static, naive price of 0.0003 LUNC, the LUNC community has burned approximately 4.70000 worth of LUNC, either through generated revenue or voluntarily. None of this money is used to fund the blockchain ecosystem growth or compensate its core maintainers. That is to say, we have successfully generated 4.447 worth of taxes. I thought, you know, in my head that reads millimeters, but maybe that's because I'm English. And spent it either on ourselves, idly held it to allow the continual funding of perpetual spot trading, such as large short positions, or simply discarded it with the assumption that for scarcity of the tokens will increase its native price. The perceived short-term gains come out at a long-term cost, namely by dissuading many blockchain developers from building on the chain itself to help facilitate more transactions, or even dissuade current contributors to the blockchain developers notwithstanding from continuing to do so. Now, there is a huge issue with projects itself on chain, because, you know, there was 150 projects that built themselves around a stable coin that pretty much no longer exists, or is, you know, in the midst of becoming non-existent, and we don't know what is controlling its price movements. So let's move on to validators. Validators who produce blocks of the blockchain earn commission by levying fees whenever transactions occur. Validators can only sustain running the blockchain for so long before they become unprofitable to a point where they must shut down. If validators become collectively unprofitable, the blockchain shuts down without new ones taking their place. Any tokens that live on chain are not transactable without validators, meaning that users cannot cash out on their holdings. While Terra Classic can fit 130 active validators with voting power, the number of active validators has decreased from our currently incomplete set of 90 to 83. And remember, folks, we still haven't got to the date where we can actually add new validators. which I don't think is included in this. But so don't let that freak you out. So in the last several weeks after the burn tax was implemented, additionally 6 validators are running at 50% uptime, suggesting stronger centralization of the network due to obsolescence. A choice set of 4 validators control at least 51% of the network. All nodes Interstellar Lounge, Orion Money and LUNC DAO, who also controls USTC DAO, and then KuCoin controls 7.33 of the voting power. And KuCoin's voting power is literally from themselves because they delegated their own coins from their own wallet to get that vote power. So do remember that KuCoin are only there to collect rewards. They're not here for the community. And that's just my opinion. That's just my 2 cents. So the concentration of capital, interest to idle idle on-chain liquidity, staking and delegating, and off-chain discretionary tax avoidance introduces a problem that must be addressed sooner rather than later. Before the tax's negative effects set in too deep, potential governance attacks through control of the voting process and furthering decreases of incentivization to use the chain itself, which determines the value of LUNC investments. Core reasoning and traders. In the current tax implementation, a basic swap incurs a 1.2% tax on the face value of the transaction. For some dApps that incurred multiple transactions through their contracts, the user would be charged 1.2% per swap. For example, when using Lunapunk's NFT marketplace, the user would be taxed once when making a bid and again when withdrawing the bid. Regardless of if the bid was filled, they would be taxed. If the bid was filled, they would be taxed. From a pure profit standpoint, traders who conduct market making for a living are required to earn profits that exceed a break-even value of 1.2%, any fees incurred by platforms. This does not factor in any trades that require multiple calls, which is message execute contract, or hops, the number of times a trade must be routed indirectly, such as through multiple liquidity pools. Additionally, consumers who make... I'm not even going to try to say that word for some reason. What is that? Inacious? Sends between Terra native wallets pay 1.2% of any money sent. This means if someone wants to send $100 to their friend, they will pay £1.20 to do so. Sorry about my reading skills, folks. I'm honestly probably the worst person to read something because my brain automatically wants to read everything backwards anyway. That's why I was able to read that backwards date forwards quite easily, because my mind read it backwards anyway. So let's move on to the main proposal. And you guys already know what the main proposal is, so I'm not going to lull about on this too much, but I'm just going to go through the outline suggested as follows, which is immediately decrease the tax rate to 0.2% on all transactions and levy 0.02% the calculated tax pre-burn to the ecosystem funding. After the implementation, we reassess the efficiency of taxation on-chain depending how the ecosystem has changed. As a general heuristic for future measurements, we suggest the following. Increased taxation if a demand measured in the transaction volume and related statistics relative to the tax revenue generated through demand increases significantly up to the maximum of 1.2%. Decrease the taxation if a demand relative to the tax revenue generated through demand decreases significantly or further than current measurements to a floor non-zero value of 0.02%, and they're going to reassess this every 7 days during the duration which is required to enact a full tax change. Because if it does pass, it's going to be 7.7 days, which is just an epoch, and depending on where we land with the epoch, it could be like a day, it could be 2 days, you know, it could be a whole week. But it just depends how we land on the epoch. I will figure out at some point during this stream. Welcome, guys. If you've got any questions, just slap them down in the comment section. I will get to them. I will go through them. We're going to be looking at some Exodus shortly, folks. So look forward to that. You've got pros, you've got cons here. And, you know, I don't need to read these out to say to you folks that, you know, anybody can make a plan. And you can get all the data you want, but at the same time, I think the issue with the burn tax lies in the smart contracts themselves, and reducing the tax is not going to magically fix all these smart contracts, because it's actually the burn tax itself that has the effect. So this is more on the project side and pretty much getting them to better implement that tax like Lunarpunks has. And from what I'm aware, Lunarpunks, which is the leader of that, is Hippie. I'm launching our NFT project through his launchpad, and I know they're working on fixes. They have got fixes out there, and they're willing to, you know, fix and work through this. So the cons to this is that, in my opinion, it sends a huge negative signal to all these CEXs that we've kind of roped in so far. Just going to take a sip from my coffee, and what I'm going to do is take the travel top thing off of it so I don't sound like I'm slurping. Might sound like I'm still slurping anyway. They didn't even have any vanilla, and then he got out like a salted caramel thing like it was vanilla. Like, oh yeah, that's the one. I was like, yeah, that'll do. As long as it's not sugar. It makes me feel so much better. But let me know what you think about this, guys. What do you think? Honestly, what do you think? What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a poll. Of course he's going to put a poll. You know, I should have put a poll at the beginning. I just don't think about these things. Should. Oh, that's all in capitals, Jay. So I'm doing this as well to gauge data, so to speak. I've got a vote system going in our Telegram group. I'm going to put one up on Twitter shortly, and then we've got one going in this live stream too. So do vote on that. Do let me know what you guys think, and remember, there's if this goes through, I think it's going to cause issues with CEXs currently, because they're going to be like, well, for starters, if it does go through, Binance is likely going to just make a little bit extra, which will actually be a lot extra for them, because they would have taxed a certain amount of 1.2%, and then, you know, then they're going to be like, oh wait, actually, well, you've dropped the tax, so we can drop the tax too. So it'd be very interesting to see how everything reacts overall to this if it does go through. So do vote carefully and considerately, and don't just aimlessly and blindlessly vote on things. Even if you don't like reading, you can just highlight this whole thing, and I can right click it and get it to read it to me, but you just need to download the extension, which is just called text to speech, and it's amazing, especially for someone like me, when I'm so busy all the time, and then I can just, you know, text to speech something, listen to it whilst I'm trying to do something else at the same time. So yeah, very interesting tool. And then you won't have to listen to my horrible voice slaughter a proposal like that. As you can see, USTC running up by a crazy amount. We actually made it into a news article today, which I thought was really good. Sorry about the slurping noise in the background. That's actually the cat breathing at a bird at the window. So yeah, it's 115% run, and I was saying, you know, the power behind whatever's doing this could just be sheer meme power. It could just be one big laughing stock to the people that are doing this, but at the same time they're doing it. And I do believe a lot of people are holding bags in the hope, and a lot of FOMO probably has been driving it, as there's always been this kind of whisper recently of a USTC repeg. So it's one of those ones, really. You just have to watch and see how it plays out, and see if we get an absolutely huge correction. But loads of people say, you know, is it going to drag Lunar Classic up? And I just don't think so, because they're not connected. Not in a sense that there's nothing to bridge them together other than the fact that they're used on the same platforms. That's about it. Other than that, the swapping feature's gone. The swap to mint or mint to burn, whatever you want to call it, has gone. So yeah. Oh, actually, there's been a good change on Terra Station. I noticed if you go to your wallet, you can now explore the ecosystem and try out the various dApps built on Terra, which is really good. Don't know who's doing these changes. Really would like to know who does these changes to Terra Station, because I've been asking for this for quite some time. What I'm waiting for now, oh, look, How long have I been asking for this to be fixed? Whoever's doing this, thank you. If you're watching my videos, I really appreciate it, and I've been asking for this for ages. So folks, Terra Documents backup, this is really good because, you know, there's lots of people out there that actually did use that and used it quite a lot. And when we have new people joining the space, if the link to the basic tutorial doesn't work, it doesn't give off a good signal, does it? You know, it's kind of like meeting someone for a job interview. You're likely going to look at their shoes first. And, you know, most people judge people off of their shoes. I don't know why that's a thing. I read a book on it about a week ago. Like, I can't even remember the author's name. It was just called Clean Shoes. And it was like, what am I reading? I'll stop reading things. Really good book to read is How to Make Your Bed. If you've never read that, you should read it. Really good book. It's written by a military officer. It's good for anyone who's trying to get like into routine, unlike myself, who will stay awake for 48 hours at a time and then sleep for 6 and then get up and repeat that whole process over and over again. Good one, Jay. So let's go over to Exodus. Let me mute that ominous noise. And as you can see, you know, it's drawing close, and they've been through something horrendous, like an internal coup. And I can't think of anything worse than an internal coup. Oh, it's like a nightmare. It's like an absolute nightmare. It's like someone stealing HCC out, like one of our developers stealing HCC out from under us, and then starting, you know, coming on and be like, well, yeah, you know, Jay's gone, but we'll be producing all the content now. You guys would be like, what the heck? And that was nearly what happened to what is now Exodus. So from what I understand, it was just an internal coup. It's been, you know, got past. It's all settled now, and it's at a point of where they're close to launch. Land sale is going to be coming soon again. Swaps are going to be coming soon as well. So you'll be able to swap your deploy Starship lands to Exodus lands, and you'll get a nice hoverboard for doing that. And as you can see, we've got the, if we let it keep playing, we've got the dude in a lot of the kind of like trailer footage, as you can see here, with the hood moving and stuff like that. And then you've actually got this dude here, which looks a lot different. And this is because you're able to pretty much take pictures of yourself, put them into the game, and it will pretty much regenerate you down to a T. Even if you put a pet in, I think it will be able to do it, which is absolutely insane. So, you know, if you've got a dog, the likelihood is you're going to be able to scan your pet into this metaverse, which is just awesome. Like, I'm stoked for this, and the fact that it's to do with spaceships, it's interplanetary, and I've seen some awesome stuff, like some really, really awesome stuff going around. A lot of cool gameplay and stuff like that. See if we got this one here. Oh yeah, here we go. I've actually seen a separate clip to this, which I think is not one that's been released, so I'm not able to show it to anyone at this point, obviously, because of, you know, leaking information, so to speak. But what you're seeing is like a demo. It's gameplay, but there's not everything implemented, you know, all the background sounds, the, you know, you basically have like God Ray. You guys know, if you play video games, I'm not going to teach you how to suck eggs, but really, really looking forward to Exodus, and I have been for some time. And I mean, I got really, really upset when, you know, they went through what they went through, and you have to sort of sit there and think to yourself, you know, what is right here? Who's right here? And I just had to take a step back and see what happened, and it seems everything came out on top. So we've got the refunds, which are coming in 3 days, 10 hours, 4 minutes, 30 seconds. Honestly, I stare at countdown timers. That is what we do here at HCC. We stare at countdown timers. So you can join the Discord. I'll leave a link to that in the description. I'll leave a link to it in the comment section of this video. And we have got Zada coming on the channel tomorrow, folks, for a nice podcast episode. And then we've got Vegas also coming on later on this evening for his podcast episode. And that will be coming out likely in the morning for you folks. So like a nice hour-long chat of just me and Vegas chatting about current events, what's going on and things like that. Feel free to join the Exodus Discord group. They have only just started it, so don't expect some really huge built out Discord group with a huge community. They did go through something that was hugely traumatic, and you know, they're here, they're on top. And like I said, you'll be getting a hoverboard if, you know, you've got lands and some of these ships. Oh goodness me, I should probably get myself a ship now before they go up in price, shouldn't I? But the land's looking really forward to doing my swaps and getting my new lands, getting my hoverboard and stuff like that. I think I'm going to go for the Ruckus. The pew pew pew, I like it. Let's have a look at the Ruckus. Ruckus is a beast with battle-hardened heavy armor, super quick speed and unparalleled gravity attack with one impressive laser accelerated with compound ions. Built to withstand the largest of battles, Ruckus features large cargo spaces. Oh, that's good. You always need cargo space, gravity attack lasers and a high hyperdrive speed, the perfect flagship for any fleet. It can protect against any mayhem, or it can cause all of the mayhem. Oh, I like it. Oh, I like it. Wee, hello. You know, thank you so much, John Weidman, for that donation, and you too, Navigor Internet. You guys always donate every live stream, and you know, I appreciate you guys for being here. I appreciate all of you guys for being here, and it goes a long way. When you support me, it ensures that I'm kept in this seat and I never ever have to go off and, you know, search for another job or start my companies back up. So you guys really do, you know, control my future in a sense that without you I'm stuffed. So I appreciate you all being here, and I really am looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to zipping around on my hoverboard and all those kind of things, and I'm excited to have the HCC virtual headquarters where we can simulate the burns, and we're so close to going back to our normal routine of burning. And you know, it was never easy for me to do what I did with the Let It Burn channel and to make the decisions that I had to make. It sucks. It totally sucks. But at the same time, I wouldn't be sat here in this seat now if I didn't make that decision. It's as simple as that. Not everything's roses and daisies. So do check out the website. I'm going to leave. I'm going to go home. I'm going to leave a link to this in the description. It's nice to see Matthew Perry is back at the helm as well. I was a little bit worried about Matt when he put that video out. And, you know, no one should ever be feeling that way. You know, when someone feels like that, it's, you know, everyone should, you know, reach out to them and, you know, provide as much support as they can, because there's a lot of YouTubers out there, and I can honestly say I've digested Matthew Perry's content, you know, up until I started HCC, because I just don't have the time. But really looking forward to this. This month, there's just so much going on for us here. And, you know, with Vegas coming on the channel, Zada coming on the channel, going to get a lot of questions answered that I know a lot of you want to know the answers to, you know, the issues about USTC and possibly being dragged into a court case and stuff like that. And, you know, I want you to hear from Vegas about what he thinks about this burn tax reduction and how he feels about it and everything like that. And, you know, we're here to help this community, but we're also here to connect people as well. And I've always done that regardless of who they are. I connected Lunatics token with Coinin. I've connected so many people with so many people. I've worked with so many different projects, and I've never asked for anything in return, and I never will ask for anything in return. And we'll always be here. We'll still continue to build, we'll still continue to create, and we'll still continue to provide content, even if only 300 people are watching it, and I'm only getting that many views on the video. I'm still going to be here. Even if I have to get another job, I'm still going to be here. So super stoked for this metaverse. I should probably be less excited than I am, but I'm a heavy gamer, or I was a heavy gamer before I started HCC. So this gives me the opportunity to kind of game and provide content, because it's a metaverse and it's not launching on Steam. Okay, it's a standalone. Okay, it's on its own. It's built on its own system, and it'll have its own servers. Well, I say server, it's one server, Jay. It's a metaverse. Okay, there is no limit, and I think this metaverse itself is bigger than any game ever released. I think the only one close, I can't remember what the only one that was close to it. But Unreal 5 engine, you can see it there when it goes front. There you can see the dongles moving, look, on the jacket when he's running. And it's just, it's nice. Look, you can see his hood moving in the wind, and it's immersive. That's what you really want to see. Super stoked, and we'll leave Exodus at that for now. Now, what I want to do is move over to VentiSwap, and the reason why I want to do this and talk about VentiSwap a little bit, just in the last kind of 10 minutes of this stream, because I don't do long streams. I just kind of want to how to invest in Exodus. You can buy lands currently, but I would, when will Exodus going to be released? Within the next couple of months, from what I've been told. It'll be the swaps first and refunds, and then they'll go through to launch, I would think. So we've got Xvendi, which are going to be doing a kind of burn. Not a kind of burn, what am I going on about? Just read this off. And it's totally legit, and it is a marketing stunt, but at the same time, it's a good marketing stunt, because if they want to burn coins, that's totally down to them. It's of no bad negative effect to us. It doesn't drain any liquidity out of our blockchain. And, why do we care if they want to burn? In fact, the more the merrier. Let them burn. It's as simple as that. So our trading partner at VentiSwap is helping the burn, a true non-custodial cross-chain DEX. Not only are they relisting Luna Classic, but Venti will be dedicating 2% of their monthly revenue to LUNC buybacks and burns. The more, the merrier. And that's all really I've got to say about that. It's not a scam. It's not some kind of like ploy to steal our customers or anything like that. Or it's just a good thing. Okay, it's just more good news for this movement, and it's what we need. Okay, it's what we really need all the time. People are saying, we need more good news, we need more good news. You've got it right here. Great news. And I haven't really got much more to say about that. It just, the more that are burning, the better. And I'm so excited, that in 15 days, by the time I get up tomorrow, it's going to be less than 15 days, nearly at the 2-week mark, until we launch the node. And once we do that and we start earning, we'll be doing a weekly burn, the same as LUNC DAO, on a Sunday every week. And it'll be like that until the supply hits 10 billion. And, that's all I can say to you until, I prove to you guys that's what we're going to do. And, we'll keep our promise to you on that front, and we'll keep developing LUNC Penguins. We are working on a project that should change the way you burn coins if you decide to, walk down that route. And we're dropping the NFT project soon, and hopefully going to be able to provide another kind of staking passive rewards route for you guys here at Luna Classic, and for people, in the HCC node and community. So folks, stay safe out there, okay? And do remember to, read these proposals before you go through them and vote on them. As to it getting whitelisted, I don't know why it's not whitelisted yet. I think it should be whitelisted, because I think this is important. It's heavily noticed by the community before I done this stream, and yeah, so very interesting. Do understand if you vote no with a veto, they're not going to get their deposit back. So People hope more projects will join, then calling them a scam when they do. Yeah, it's a real issue. It is a real issue. But like I said, folks, just, you know, vote carefully, do your own research, check projects out and stuff like that. And that's all I've really got for you today. It seems like a really good day in my opinion. We couldn't ask for much more. I am checking out this other cool little project. Actually, I'll show you it quickly before I end this stream. Where is it? It's called LUNC Pixels, and you know, I really like it. I don't know why I like it so much, but I do. You can pretty much just buy like a pixel, sorry, yeah. So you can buy a pixel plot on screen, and I just thought it was a cool idea because it sort of brings people together. I mean, what is 500 LUNC? Like when it launches, I'm probably just gonna buy a couple of plots for the crack. Sorry, that's for a big one. If you go for one of the smaller ones, there we go. So 50k for that one. But I just thought it'd be interesting because you can upload whatever you want. It kind of works like the Decentraland map, I'm guessing. But anything to bring this community more together, more bonded, and more moving forward as a huddle, I think is a great idea. And we shouldn't be fighting each other. And I feel like this could be a cool little exercise for people that want to do stuff. The amount of people that have done funny stuff on the Decentraland map actually makes me laugh. So I'm going to try and get hold of a couple of these squares and do something really funny. I don't know, maybe draw LUNC in the center of the map before anyone else does, something cool like that. But I thought this was a really cool concept, and it is going to be, they'll incorporate the 1.2% burn tax. I have spoken to them a little bit, but I think I'm going to do a video on it later on. But I thought it was a really cool idea. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section, and just stay safe out there, okay folks? I'm not a financial advisor, and I really appreciate all the support, and I really appreciate you guys turning up to the stream. Thank you guys so much for those donations. I really do appreciate it. It really does go a long way, and I'll catch you in the next one. Sure.